Now, before viewing this video, it's important for you to just try to forget everything. Forget everything you know about He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. And then maybe, just maybe, you'll be able to accept or even grow to like the new adventures of He-Man. Or I guess that was what the animated series was called, but to Mattel, this was just simply He-Man. So I'm gonna zoom out. So I thought of a number of different ways to do this video. And I think the best way is just doing it the way I'm going to do it, just like this. So I'm going to pan down, that is, a little further down. So I don't want to make this too long-winded. I just want it to be to the point. And I decided I really want to get started on these He-Man reviews as opposed to Masters of the Universe. I also want to review vintage He-Man. So here we go. So we're starting with the title character, with He-Man himself. So all around, he's a pretty nice figure. He's extremely slim built. Or I shouldn't say slim. He's more of a athletic, I suppose. More of a standard athletic muscular He-Man. Completely radical difference. And as you can see, he comes with his, as different as the He-Man is, so are his weapons. He's got the deflector shield right here, and in his hand he's got the newly modeled power sword. So, and he does have an action feature. His action feature is you are to twist the waist, but I will do it like so. So if you twist it this way, let's get him to stand. If you twist it this way, he blocks a blow with his deflector shield and has a hard time standing because of the weight of the shield. But then when you twist it like that, as you saw, he slashes down with his laser beam, kind of, lightsaber inspired power sword. So yeah, completely different. And but I do realize that a lot of folks out there will be more interested in this era of He-Man now that we will be getting a New Adventures or Space Age He-Man in the Masters of the Universe Classics line. So yeah, I just figured I'd give yous all, for those who aren't familiar, that is, give yous a look at what the original looked like. And once again, maybe I'll give you a more side-by-side comparison for those who aren't very familiar with this, to compare it to a vintage 1980s He-Man figure. And yeah, the differences are jaw-dropping. So yeah. And now, aside from what you see here, he also included other accessories, actually. He was quite loaded on accessories. For a He-Man or Masters of the Universe figure, he actually came with quite a bit. He actually had this as well, which was a two-piece, kind of like a space-age armor. And this is modeled, the Four Horsemen actually have modeled a space armor that is just like this, almost just like this, for the Classics figure that's going to be coming. Oh, one other thing about it that's kind of interesting is it actually has a slot where you can sheath his power sword through. Right here, you can see right there. So there's that. And lastly, he also came with a kind of like a space helmet, kind of like a battle helmet of some sort to shield his head while he's in battle. But it's very tight fitting. I have tried before to put it on his head, but it's a little bit of a tight fit, and I don't want to risk damaging his head, so it's not really worth it. To tell you the truth, I just prefer him like this. But anyway, I do know that a lot of my fellow Masters of the Universe fans here on YouTube are, they've accepted this line, and so have I. It's a very interesting part of the Masters of the Universe history. It's it was a radical departure. It was Mattel trying to save the line after it died in the late '80s, and but unfortunately it didn't pan out. It didn't work out. So aside from this, he also included, of course, a mini comic. Yeah, The Revenge of Skeletor. And really, to be fair, this is a pretty nice mini-comic. It has very nice artwork, very classic comic book-looking artwork, to tell you the truth. And then on the end of it, you've got the co-cells, which is really nice on this because you can actually see the vehicles, or at least some of the early vehicles that were included in the line at its beginning. And yeah, the vehicles are really nice. Very, very nice. I would love to own some of them someday. But anyway, yeah. There's the mini comic. So aside from that, I'll give you a little look at the packaging as well. I'm going to pull out a little further to give myself some room here. And lastly, I'm switching it up a little bit. We'll deal with the packaging very last. So here's the He-Man packaging. So yeah, it's completely radically different. It's got like a separate bubble here that the accessories were in. And then the back of it, you've got a tiny little bio up top, and you've got the co-cells. Yeah. And that was basically it. So I hope you all enjoyed this quick look at He-Man from the 1989 Space Line. So take care of yourselves, guys. And I'll talk to you all again very soon in the very near future. Bye for now.